Steve here, and we're going to go over the features and options on the rear high clearance steel bumper. So this is my rig actually, and this is the first bumper that I made. So as I'm going along, I'm sort of refining the process, but I'm going to show you a few things on here that we've incorporated. Some of them are options on the bumpers that I build, but I'm going to show you what I did here and sort of talk a little bit about the different construction. So it's basically 3/16 inch steel, for certainly across the back, and I banded together some plates of steel here. So we got a couple 1/4 inch plates there, so that's about 1/2 inch for our D shackles. And one of the options is some heavy duty shackles that I found after I made these, and they're 2 inches high and 1 inch thick, and I think 4, 5, 6 inches long, and I weld them right into the bumper, and they are a great recovery point, so that's an option. Here's an option that I put in for here because I've got a bracket for a water tank up under where the spare tire went, and I can put a water hose in here that we can use for a shower, so that's kind of cool. I like that. And then mounting the 7-pin trailer hitch, we can do that as well, so I like it right here in the bumper. No clearance issues, but I can also make another bracket and put it up inside the bumper there as well. And I can cut out any lights that you want. And one of the things that I'll do as well, there's different heights, and so these obviously have different prices associated with them. So we can go really low with the bumper and cut it off down here, or mid-height. I've got a 4th gen, so this body line here, this bumper comes right off here, and it makes it a really great point to just cut the bumper off here. So this is actually just a little bit of a design feature that I put in. That's going to be for sure extra because there's a lot of work to put this in, but I wanted to continue the line of the flare down through the wheel there. And then we can also put in some guards for mud, keep that out. So put that in there, just some rubber and some stops in there. I'll get to the swing outs in a second. I'll talk a little bit about the stop there. Same thing on the other side, and then also brush guards. I think these are good. I've got a lot of square tubing on my truck, so I went with square tubing here, but I can do round tubing as well. That's a great option, I think. Got a little crack here in our light. The last time we went off-roading up in Colorado, that whole light would have been smashed to pieces if that wasn't there, because I remember that tree smashing into this part and just glancing off, and it would have taken that light out if that wasn't there. So, okay, that's basically the rear bumper. On those side panels, I can make those a little lighter. I can make them out of 10 gauge steel as well. I think that's a good option to save a little bit of weight. And but the main part of the bumper is 3/16, and it bolts up in here, as you can see. I've also got a hitch that I can incorporate into that. I'll show you in a minute. Something that I've made, which is great for carrying bikes, although I've incorporated that there for our bikes to get them even higher off the ground. And then there are also this bumpers on each side bolted up into the panels here. Also on each side, this bumper is bolted up into the panels on each side. So we've got 2 M12s there, and I think those are 2 M8s a little farther forward. So lots of attachment points. And then for the swing outs, I've got a fuel carrier obviously here. So this worked out really well. I like the design of that I came up with. Pretty simple and straightforward. It's locking, so I've got a little lock pin here that I can put in. And then I've got a high lift jack mount here, and I'll show you that in a second. And then also a propane tank mount that I've put up here. And then this can pull off, open up, and I can get 2 5-gallon jerry cans in there pretty easily. So these guys here, these work perfect. And then that just slides over there. And I've got another one somewhere in the garage. So that's good. I like that. I've got that bolted into the back of the frame, so that can come off if you don't need it on there. And then on the other side, we've got the tire swing out. As I mentioned, I put a bike carrier here I'll close this up so you can see how that really raises the clearance if you're carrying a bike hitch trailer carrier. But here's the stop. I'm going to show you this. It's this 2 by 2 inch tubing, square tubing, 3/16 inch thick, and I just put the latch mounts right there. That works great. I like Raptor liner as a finish, so we've got a good finish on that. Pretty durable for the most part. Okay, so let's close these up and I'll show you what that looks like. And you know, I can incorporate little brackets for the license plate mount. Basically, just some little bent metal. You can bolt that in. I like these little bolt lights, and they work really well. The stop pin here locks it closed, and then it also holds it open halfway as well. So if you can see that, that'll open it halfway and just stop automatically, and full on as well. This does. And on the tire side, same thing. Pull pin there, so that can actually go all the way to the full position, and it's just going to stop a little bit, and I can incorporate that anywhere you want. And it'll stay open halfway, just another pinpoint, and that'll be enough to clear any the tire that you're opening if you're opening the back, which I think is important to not have to jack around with that. And again, there's the so we can just pull that, close it, and a latch pin here. And then here's the bike trailer mount, or bike carrier mount. So it'll come up here and carry the bikes a lot higher. So I'm not losing any clearance if I've got a trailer or hitch mount here for a bike carrier. It's going to be coming out here, and that's really killing my departure angle. So I like that. That's something, an option I can put into a swing out if you'd like. And then just the pins same on the other side there. These swing arms I made out of 4 by 2 inch rectangular tubing, so that's extra. The 2 by 2 is the standard one, and I find that works great. When I do 2 by 2, I'll put a brace either here or underneath it in order to, depending on the height that you want the swing arm to be. And I can also incorporate this into an OEM bumper, so if you want a swing arm but you don't want the full bumper, I've got brackets that I can make, and I'm going to do another video next time I do that for somebody and show you how that can just get incorporated right into your OEM bumper. We just cut a little hole in here for the brackets to come out, and the swing arm hinge goes right there. So yeah, I really like the way this works. Nice and close. I like the tire being angled like this, but if you do have it angled, it's harder to put stuff in behind. So if you want it straight, I can do that, and then you've got a lot more room in between the tire and the back of your truck to store traction boards or jack. So let me throw some stuff on here so you can see how it all looks closed up. Okay, here are a couple of more options we've got for the bumper. We go through a lot of water when we're camping, so I made this bracket that actually fits into the brush guard here on the rear bumper. So just a chunk of metal. This is going to be super strong, can handle any amount of water that we throw up here. A 7-gallon container here, and that just fits right in there nicely. So that's a good option. So here's the fuel carrier all loaded up. We get the high lift jack mount. I've got a couple attachment points here. So I've got a little speed knob here on the bottom, and just goes through this bolt here, and then again another one here up at the top. I like the locking ones, so I can lock that same as this one, and then not have to worry about it disappearing on me. The other thing too, when you have a locking one, you're basically disconnecting the thread option here, and the vibration, I've lost a couple of these that aren't locking, and the vibration just slowly turns this out. So when you can lock it, you just basically what you're doing is disconnecting the knob from the bolt, and you can't actually undo it. So it works great. And then I've got an option for a propane tank mount. It just sort of bolts into the top of the frame of the fuel carrier, and there's the 2 5-gallon fuel carriers all set up, and that's locking at the top as well. There is some room back here for some other things if you want to, but it kind of all depends. I like to make stuff custom, so tell me what you're looking for and we can be able to put that together. So anyways, there's the rear custom steel high clearance bumper.